comes to mind?
Well, great question. Really, I think what comes to mind for me is that everybody wants to be genuine. Everybody wants to think that there's no facade in their life. And when they play that facade, as much as they want to fake it, they come to a head of realizing, okay, well, you know, this isn't genuine.
Okay, now Scott, one of the things you guys talk about is the abundance mindset. Can you explain what that is?
Yeah, definitely. Before we go into that, we have to talk about what the scarcity mindset is.
Oh, okay.
And scarcity is essentially a poison, it's a lack, and it's a mentality where things aren't enough in your life. And when we help you understand that it really is a poison that can kill you. So what have you discovered in yourself as a result of being coached by myself?
I didn't need any of this, and I just no. I'm starting to discover sort of who I am and what some of the things that really make me tick are, not what I've thought they were.
Who am I and what matters to me? And draw from that well. Another thing that really is important with that process is that sometimes we don't have the resources, the tools, and the frame of mind to actually ask ourselves all of those questions and know that you're actually going to get the right answers and the right results. And you also often don't have the accountability to move forward. And coaching really helps.
I remember the day that I was having coffee, actually it was breakfast with you, and we were just visiting about you know, how life was going. And in that moment that we were talking in that time period, I came to realize that what I was doing on my own wasn't working.
There's a reason to choose something different, and that's the abundance mindset. And abundance essentially is believing that there's more than enough that's going to come into your life, and that there's overflow, and that there's just extreme possibilities for you in your life. So Matt, could you tell me, where were you at before you got life coaching from Scott?
Yeah, pretty dark place. Depressed, cycling my schizophrenia, feeling very lost, feeling very hopeless, lonely, very confused. And Scott's really benefited me a lot in our conversations and applying things to my life, and it's been good.
Oh, thank you very much for coming on. So who could benefit from a life coach, first off?
Well, I think that anybody could benefit from a life coach. Frankly, that if the CEO of Google, Eric Schmidt, could benefit from a life coach, then anybody could benefit from a life coach. Pretty much, I find people, when they come to me, they're interested in either getting unstuck, or else they just want to contribute more. There's something more for them in their life, and it could be in different areas too, so that's usually when I find people.
So before I started coaching with Scott, I was very stuck in my beliefs about money and abundance, and I didn't really understand what abundance meant. So it was either I had no money or I had money. It was like no money, money, no money, money, but I didn't understand the greatness of the word abundance. So it was stuck, stuck, stuck. Not such a good place to be.
Scott was able to say things to me that nobody else would say them to. Say those things to me because like friends wouldn't. But you said them because you could see them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A good coach is willing to stand in your corner, to back you when you feel weak and pick you up when you feel like you need to actually have somebody to pick you up.
Yeah.
And a good coach is somebody who's also going to recognize areas where you need to say, okay, I need a kick in the pants, or I need to move forward, and keep you accountable to those things. Because in some ways, if you don't have that, you're going to stay stuck. People out there have desires and aspirations for their life. They want to have a happier life. They want to have a better family. They want to have more financial success. And whatever it is that you want to have, often we find that people don't get the results that they need. Okay. And in order to get the results, you need to go through something. Usually it's a radical change, and that radical change is breakthrough.
I didn't understand really what life coaching was. It's not another rehab self-help thing at all. What it really is, it's coaching. It's taking something that's already going great in some areas and maybe not so great in other areas, and making greatness out of it all.
The biggest thing Scott's done for me is through his support and his encouragement, he's helped me to see in me what I couldn't see before. And now that I see it, that I see it, it's not anything I'll ever take my eye off again. And I have Scott to thank for that. So, thank you, Scott, for your part in what I'm going to go out there and do. I'll always remember the start I got and the role that you played in it.
What Scott helped me do was realize that at times you need to reel yourself back in and focus on certain priorities in order to get results. And so what myself and he did was focus on specific goals in specific areas of my life that I wanted to improve. And instead of looking at several different things all at once and getting very minimal results, we focus on those specific things, and because of that, I was able to see results. And now I focus on school, which was one of them, doing 6 classes this semester as well as 5 classes in the summer, and I'm glad to say I'm finished that now, which feels amazing.
That for what I wanted in life to achieve, I needed something else. I needed someone like yourself who is in a similar mindset to challenge me, to ask me the questions that I don't know the answers to, but you help me to answer, and to really push me to what I want out of life and why I was brought to this planet. You know, what's my whole meaning?
I associated with Scott of around like 1 year, around approximately more than 1 year, and I feel like he always very motivative. And when I come to Scott, like I feel not so much confident, not so much energy. But as soon as I talk with Scott for 1 hour session, then I got so much motivated, and I have enough energy for another 15 days. So I got benefited from Scott lots with this with my coaching.
I think I'm going to continue to be in need of support to maintain that position of well-being in my life, because more decisions are going to come along, and it's not a specific incident that I needed coaching for. It's actually a frame of mind and a frame of well-being that I need to sustain, not just for my own personal and professional life, but for my family as well. So I think what I've come to realize is that if I want to stay in the game long term, I'm going to need a coach. Every team has a coach. Every player has a coach. Even the professionals. Tiger Woods has a coach. Why wouldn't I? Mm-hmm. So I think there's the prospect for a long-term relationship that will serve to sustain my health and well-being, so that I can be that person to make the right kind of decisions moving forward.
He approaches everybody in this very special way. So what I mean by that is his ability to read people where they are and to never allow them to feel badly about that. And then there's this immediate growth. Like, you get unstuck very, very fast with him. He's very joyous and he's very compassionate. And I always felt just like I was in the perfect place with the perfect coach all the time. And Scott is so much fun. So it's like you really, really look forward to your sessions. Even when we're getting in deep stuff, it's engaging, it's purposeful, and very, very special.
Well, I mean, the biggest thing about being coached as opposed to being taught or involved in another program is that there's an interaction. And I mean, I think that's your strong suit. Your strong suit is the fact that you interact, that you haven't, well, throughout our dealings, you haven't told or said, do this, do that. It's been an interaction. It's been trying to make me realize what the next step is. So coaching is bringing out the best in you, raising your expectations, as opposed to teaching, which is just telling you what those items would be. So I think I've achieved more. I've enjoyed it more than I thought I would. I was skeptical off the start. Mm-hmm. I think we discussed that.
Yeah, we have.
And looked at other programs that have been involved in, different tapes, different videos, different seminars, and each one of them asks or tells you that they will give you something that will change the way. We're not operating on that premise here. We're digging, we're building a foundation, and a lot of it is you picking away and dragging the stuff, getting me to admit it to myself, but getting me to actually to realize things. So coaching as opposed to teaching, I don't think there's any comparison.
And one of the specializations, if I can call it that, is abundance coaching. What's that about?
Yeah, well, abundance coaching is the name of our business, abundancecoaching.com, but the other part about it is that abundance coaching for me is actually a lifestyle. It's a lifestyle of replacing scarcity and then moving in abundance, because scarcity can't exist, lack and scarcity can't exist where abundance is. And abundance is completely believing that inside yourself that you're created as more than enough, that you have more than enough, and that more than enough is going to come to you in the future.
No matter what you're doing, I always say, even Wayne Gretzky had a coach. Doesn't matter how good things are for you, how successful you are, you still need a coach, and a lot of people probably don't realize there are people out there that are life coaches. And Scott, you're one of them. And sometimes you need to have that person to get some clarity in your life, and that's what you bring. So I would highly recommend just sitting down, having that chat, and start with the abundance wheel like you did with me, and start trying to focus on what parts of your life need work on. And when you start on that, then things start to develop, and that's what you need to do.